Tonight, a young woman dies after being stabbed in Sydney's West in what police say is another case of domestic violence. The neighbour who fought his way into a burning home and helped rescue 4 children after their father allegedly set it on fire and locked them in.
I kept smashing down the front door until I could get in, and then I opened the door and I could not see anything. It was covered in smoke. I then heard kids coughing and yelling to my right.
France wakes up to a hung parliament after President Macron does a deal to keep Marine Le Pen out. The parents of a young murder victim speak out, demanding justice for their 10-year-old daughter. And next stop, Melbourne Airport, plans have finally agreed to build a train to Tullamarine. Good evening, Lydia Feng with ABC News. A woman has died in what's believed to be a
70 cents is likely now. If the RBA does lift rates next month, it's more like a certainty. The rate differential story trumped weak commodities today, with iron ore and oil both down over the weekend, and that led to declines by resources stocks today, which pushed the market index 0.7% lower. Some retailers and banks went up. And meanwhile, the US share market was unperturbed on Friday about the focus on geriatrics that has gripped America. Vice President Kamala Harris has now overtaken Joe Biden in the betting about who will be US president, while California Governor Gavin Newsom is flagging after a brief spurt following the debate. All of them trail a convicted felon. Meanwhile, France looks like being ungovernable, with a 3-way split in Parliament of parties that can't agree about anything, which could be a problem since France's debt is stuck well above what it was before the pandemic and almost double the EU threshold. Cutting spending or raising taxes will need one of them to agree with one of the others, and that's finance.
To sport now, and Maroons coach Billy Slater has overlooked Titan David Fifita once again, despite making 4 changes to the side demolished in Game 2, while in New South Wales, the man replacing Latrell Mitchell has an injury concern.
The 2 new faces to a confident Blues side that was simply brilliant at the MCG.
1, 2, 3.
Warrior Mitch Barnett, the lone debutant on the bench, while Bradman Best returns for his second match against the Maroons, though little's changed.
Yeah, still hate him, yeah.
The Knights centre, who's replaced an injured Latrell Mitchell, pulling up with a tight hamstring yesterday.
Obviously, they're going to manage the load throughout the week, but it'll be all good.
Bradman, I think, in the last month has really shown what he's capable of doing, and it was a sort of an easy pick for me.
North of the border, Billy Slater was forced into more changes. Injuries to both wingers opening the door for Selwyn Cobbo and 22-game Origin veteran Dane Gagai to return.
If I'm going to be honest, it did cross my mind whether I'd be able to get the call back into the team, but this is a jersey you never want to give up, but then it's also a jersey you always have to earn.
Titan David Fifita still out of favour, with Kurt Capewell the preferred choice.
This is the 17 that they feel is the best 17 for Game 3 at Suncorp.
While Kalen Ponga will be teammates with Reece Walsh for the first time.
I've been thinking about that for a little while. I've got visions of him going down the sideline and passing back into me.
The Maroons have altered their preparations after the Melbourne thrashing, abandoning their traditional open media session ahead of the decider.
There's no sign of panic stations or anything like that.
I wouldn't have thought so. Players talking to media is certainly not a factor in performance from Game 2.
I sort of see the team as part of the people's team, and something there that I guess our group's adopted, that we want to bring everyone on the journey.
Jessica Stewart, ABC News.
The Wimbledon's ladies' draw is wide open after a shock exit by number 2 seed Coco Gauff. In the men's draw, top seed Yannick Sinner and number 3 Carlos Alcaraz are through to the quarterfinals.
With world number 1 Iga Swiatek already gone, the number 2 seed Coco Gauff would have been dreaming of finally making a Wimbledon quarter-final. But it wasn't to be.
Game, set, match, Navarro.
The US Open champion is beaten.
Her defeat at the hands of the 19th seed Emma Navarro means the top 3 women are out of Wimbledon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this case is occurring confirmed your injury.
Navarro's quarter-final opponent is the 7th seed Jasmine Paolini, whose opponent Madison Keys pulled out in tears with the match tied at 5-all in the 3rd set.
What a heartbreaking end to what was such a scintillating, gripping, compelling contest.
I'm so sorry for her. I mean, to end the match like this, it's bad.
No, she has it. And now we see what it means.
There were tears of a different kind when New Zealand qualifier Lulu Sun upset England's Emma Raducanu. Sun was overcome as she contemplated becoming the first Kiwi woman to make the last 8 at Wimbledon.
I don't even have the words right now.
The men's number 1 seed, Italy's Yannick Sinner, was showing off as he beat American Ben Shelton in straight sets.
Audacious from the Italian.
3rd seed Carlos Alcaraz had some tricks of his own as he scrambled to win this point and the match against France's Hugo Humbert.
Down but not out.
Even on his backside, the defending champion is a formidable opponent. David Mark, ABC News.
To the weather now, and Tom, our planet has just recorded another month of unprecedented heat.
Yes, Lydia. Parts of Australia were quite frosty, but the Earth baked through its warmest June on record. That's according to Copernicus data. The average global air temperature last month was 1.5 degrees above the pre-industrial level and 0.14 above the previous record from 2023. This marks the 13th consecutive month of record global heat, while the Earth's ocean temperatures have been the warmest on record for 15 months. June was also the 12th month in a row to breach the 1.5 degree threshold. However, despite the extended spell above the Paris target, it is likely temperatures will ease below the 1.5 degree threshold during the coming months as the planet cools following the decay of El Niño earlier this year. And El Niño's demise is also a factor behind our state's wet year. In the 24 hours to 9 a.m, unseasonable totals in the west: Burke 41 millimetres, that's their wettest July day in 26 years. 48 millimetres at Menindee was their heaviest July rain in 138 years. And since 9 a.m, the best falls have shifted to the western slopes. Dubbo is up to 10 millimetres. After overnight showers, Sydney woke to a gloomy morning with multiple levels of cloud, and of the west remained in the double digits. Maximums today were mostly near the average. The state's high was 20 in Byron Bay. Now on the satellite, it will storm in the northern rivers. The rain will clear from the Hunter by the afternoon and contract to the far north coast in the evening. For the southeast, rain overnight will ease by the morning, only patchy falls continuing through tomorrow, mostly on the south coast and through the snowy mountains.
Tonight, tributes for neighbours and first responders who tried to save 3 children from a house fire. Also tonight, an unexpected defeat for the far right as French voters deliver a hung parliament. Is the ACT's motor accident injuries insurance scheme fit for purpose? And tears and torment as the women's singles draw at Wimbledon is blown wide open. Good evening, Adrian Francis with ABC News, coming to you from Ngunnawal country, and we also acknowledge other people and families with connection to the lands of the ACT. A man who rushed into a burning house to rescue several children.
Vice President Kamala Harris has now overtaken Joe Biden in the betting about who will be US President, while California Governor Gavin Newsom is flagging after a brief spurt following the debate. All of them trail a convicted felon. Meanwhile, France looks like being ungovernable, with a 3-way split in Parliament of parties that can't agree about anything, which could be a problem since France's debt is stuck well above what it was before the pandemic and almost double the EU threshold. Cutting spending or raising taxes will need one of them to agree with one of the others, and that's finance.
To sport now, and in tennis, the Wimbledon ladies' draw is wide open after a shock exit by number 2 seed Coco Gauff, while an unsung Kiwi was in tears after upsetting a hometown favourite. In the men's draw, top seed Yannick Sinner and number 3 Carlos Alcaraz both displayed their tennis wizardry as they progressed to the quarterfinals.
With world number 1 Iga Swiatek already gone, the number 2 seed Coco Gauff would have been dreaming of finally making a Wimbledon quarter-final. But it wasn't to be.
The US Open champion is beaten.
Her defeat at the hands of the 19th seed, Emma Navarro, means the top 3 women are out of Wimbledon.
Ladies and gentlemen, this case is occurring due to injury.
Navarro's quarter-final opponent is the 7th seed Jasmine Paolini, whose opponent Madison Keys pulled out in tears with the match tied at 5-all in the 3rd set.
What a heartbreaking end to what was such a scintillating, gripping, compelling contest.
I'm so sorry for her. I mean, to end the match like this, it's bad.
No, she has it. And now we see what it means.
There were tears of a different kind when New Zealand qualifier Lulu Sun upset England's Emma Raducanu. Sun was overcome as she contemplated becoming the first Kiwi woman to make the last 8 at Wimbledon.
I don't even have the words right now.
The men's number 1 seed, Italy's Yannick Sinner, was showing off as he beat American Ben Shelton in straight sets.
Audacious from the Italian.
3rd seed Carlos Alcaraz had some tricks of his own as he scrambled to win this point and the match against France's Hugo Humbert.
Down but not out.
Even on his backside, the defending champion is a formidable opponent. David Mark, ABC News.
To athletics now, and Australian runner Jessica Hull has become the 5th fastest woman in history over 1,500 metres. Hull beat her own Oceania record by more than 5 seconds at the Diamond League meet in Paris. But she still finished second after a world record time from Kenyan world champion Faith Kipyegon. Meanwhile, Australian high jumper Nicola Olaslagos claimed silver with a clearance of 2.01 metres. Her Ukrainian rival Yaroslava Mahuchik set a new world record of 2.1 metres to win gold. In cycling, France's Anthony Terzis has won stage 9 of the Tour de France. The local rider narrowly beat Britain's Tom Pidcock in the final sprint at the end of a 199-kilometre stage. Slovenia's Tadej Pogačar retained the leader's yellow jersey 33 seconds ahead of Remco Evenepoel. Defending champion Jonas Viniogo finished 3rd. Lewis Hamilton has won his first Formula One race since 2021, taking out the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. The Mercedes driver held off a late charge from Red Bull's Max Verstappen to claim his 104th career win and his 9th at home to set a new record for victories at a single circuit. McLaren's Lando Norris finished in 3rd place, while his Australian teammate Oscar Piastri was 4th. Daniel Ricciardo finished in 13th position for RB. To the weather now and your observations. Thank you to Steve Dunn for sharing this landscape of twilight at Point Hart in Canberra's south. And you too could have your photo featured here. Send your best shots to Canberra Weather Pics at abc.net.au. After an overcast and wet day, North Canberra recorded 2 millimetres in the rain gauge this afternoon and less than 1 millimetre in the valley. Temperatures range between a low of 7 and a top of 15. On the southwest slopes, Young recorded 3 millimetres in the rain gauge.